Hello and welcome to another update video about ADA. Yeah, the bigger picture, overall assumption hasn't changed. We are tracking here a diagonal pattern where we're dealing with a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4, and a wave 5. This is what we're dealing with right now. If this will lead to the bull market or if we get another bear market low, that's not even... we discussed that many times, right? Another bear market low is, of course, still likely until we have 5 waves up and see 3 waves down. So that's we've talked about that so often. So until we see 5 up, 3 down, that's the pattern that will confirm that a lasting low has been established. Another bear market low is still it still has to be considered, okay? But as long as support levels are holding, we don't really need to focus on that, right? By tracking the support levels, which we're doing, we are basically tracking a bearish scenario, which would simply be an A, B, C structure. And if we break support, that's it, okay? So that's what the support areas are for as well, of course, to tell us when the current trend, which is on the multi-hour charts up, when that breaks, okay? Just just to explain, okay? But as you know, for the last few weeks, we've been focusing on higher in the crypto market, mainly on all coin charts that we're tracking, because when we first saw on the 21st of October that the multi-hour trend the multi-hour trends on basically all charts I'm covering, that they are turning to the upside. That's where we basically exclusively focused only on upside. If that turns into a larger bull run, it's too early to say, okay? It's too early to say, but we take it level by level, and we've had significant rallies, which is fantastic. So just wanted to mention that because I received a few questions, is it still possible that ADA can get to 15 to 20 cents? Yeah, it's just that the trend is up now. So we track higher until support levels break, which they do all the time, but the break of support levels basically tells us when the trend is shifting again to a downtrend, right? Which then means we have to focus on new bear market lows. Yeah. So at the moment we're tracking this potential, diagonal structure that could be developing here to the upside, which would, however, need to fill in all the 5 waves. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The third wave is usually unfolding as an ABC structure. So A, B, C in a diagonal. Bear in mind, this is not a high quality chart at the moment. Yeah, on the shorter time frame, it's an absolute mess. But it doesn't mean that every twist and turn we're tracking here is a trading recommendation. Yeah, that's something hopefully everybody understands, that what we're doing here, we're tracking Elliott wave counts, structures, to understand where the trend is, in which direction the trend is moving. We're tracking with that support resistance levels and quality setups, okay? But there is no high quality setup there at the moment. There are pretty low quality setups because we're dealing with structures within a diagonal at the moment. Nevertheless, it's worth tracking them, right? And a lot of people want to get the update. So it's often a misunderstanding that people think that like every wave needs to be traded. That's of course not the case. As I often assume people know that, but I don't think everybody knows that, especially when you're new to Elliott wave. Our task as analysts is to give you our best view of the market at any time, understand where the trend sits, in which direction it goes, support, resistance, invalidation points, but by far not every move or forecast is a trading recommendation, because that really is just the current direction and possible targets. But to have a setup is different, okay? So there's a big difference between trading and analysis. We won't really have a quality setup here until we have all the 5 waves filled in and see a 3-wave pullback. Now, I think it is reasonable, if we get this B-wave pullback within wave 3, to potentially look for entries, because this would be a decent pullback and would offer nice reward and risk. That is, I think, a reasonable setup if it shows. Okay, it might not show, but if it shows, if we get that B-wave pullback that we talked about in the 3rd wave, which would then allow us to, for example, trade the C wave. Better quality setup would be to wait for the 1-2 setup in wave C to trade the third wave in the C wave, because that would give you additional confirmation that the B wave has actually bottomed. But we talk a lot about those kinds of setups and what is tradable and what is not tradable in the membership, if anybody's interested to learn a little bit more about Elliott wave. Okay, so and then if we zoom in now and take a look at these structures, there are two counts, yellow and white. They are basically all part of the same scenario, so they're both part of the diagonal. The question is just, is the wave A unfolding as a 5-wave move, which means we're getting a 4-5 pattern here, or is it a 3-wave move, which means A wave topped, we're now already in the B wave, for which I don't have strong evidence, and then the C wave is moving up later. At the moment, I'm leaning to the idea that the yellow structure is filling out, which is again part of the third wave in the diagonal. It's just a different subdivision. So in this, we are likely still dealing with a 4th wave. So this move down was the A wave. When it touched our support area, it likely rallied in B. And we could now be coming down in wave C of 4 and then rally in wave 5. Again, this is the support area relevant for wave 4. If we dip back into this area and break below the A wave low, which was at 34 cents, then it's likely the C wave of wave 4. I would then pay attention to 32.5 cents and 30.7 cents, 28.9 cents. However, if we don't break below that A wave low, then it could be that the wave 4 is unfolding as a triangle pattern. I've highlighted that here in yellow, so it doesn't really obstruct the view too much. But yeah, you see in the triangle, a wave 4 can be a triangle. So it would then unfold as an A wave, a B wave, a C wave, a D wave, and an E wave. So it's too early to really confirm a triangle. I just listed it here because I see the potential for it. And triangles often occur in wave 4s. If we then see a much deeper pullback than expected, it could be the B wave, but that's basically the fallback scenario. Wouldn't make a great difference anyway, because it would also be a pullback. It might just go a little lower. Also pay attention to this descending trend line that we have on the chart, which might add additional support, and it goes basically through both support areas. That's my update about ADA. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.